On this edition of Backstage Pass with Lia Chang, Prospect Theater Company and NAAP, the National Asian Artist Project, are presenting a Discover Series and Ignite Series concert of Baked, an incredible new musical featuring book, music, and lyrics by Jord Liu and Deepak Kumar on October 2nd at the Sheen Center. I had a chance to sit down with the pair after their second rehearsal and get a sneak peek at the new work.
Best if we follow the recipe. There's always one more step to follow. Call it all done once you're complete, and wrap it all up with a bow. To be a good cook, go by the book. Here's my pitch for perfecting your dish. If you want to get rich, then follow the recipe.
A timer dings. Jane pulls a tray of pastries out of the oven as she sets them on the table like Shift and the kids are at the park at a bake sale table. Pastries! Chinese pastries!
Hi everyone, I'm Deepak. I'm one of the co-writers. We write the book, lyrics, and music all together. We're just really stoked to be here. This is the first time that we're doing anything full in New York City, so thank you for being here.
Speech. Hi everyone. I'm so glad you guys are here. I'm so thankful to have this production. My name is Jord. I use she, her pronouns. Like Deepak said, this is our full show debut in New York. Miranda Cornell said of us yesterday that we are famously not New York based, which is true. So it's so cool to be here, and I don't know, I'm so excited.
Hi everyone, Miranda Cornell, she, her pronouns, director. Just really thrilled to be back with these two since early 2021.
So my collaborator, Jason Ma, my frequent collaborator, has been raving about the two of you and the project since he worked on it with y'all in Seattle. What inspired you to write this? He said it's unlike anything he's ever experienced. B, it's a whole new generation. Wow. C, he's never ever seen an Asian American dad like this.
Each tick of the clock brings us close to goodbye. If I give all this up, would that be just enough to let the both of them fly? You feel like you're drowning, tied your hands to the post. When there's nothing worth grabbing, I'll be there, 'cause I know you the most. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're family, and that's what we are.
Sure, so Baked tells the story of Jane Huang. She's a Chinese-American high school senior who has really loving parents. She has a great best friend, and she has admission to Harvard, which is sort of her dream school in the fall. But her family doesn't have enough money to send her to school, and she's waiting to hear back about this scholarship that she needs in order to attend school in the fall. And in the first scene of the show, we learn that she doesn't get it. But sort of rather than coming clean to her parents and telling them that she did get the scholarship, she lies to them. She says that she did get it, and so she has to figure out how to make up all of this money in one summer. So naturally, she teams up with her best friend and the school weed dealer, and they launch a Chinese bakery edible pastry weed empire.
It's so timely.
It's so timely. You'd think that, but we did start working on it 6 years ago.
Wow.
So.
Very soon it'll be too late.
Ah, okay.
Take a deep breath and slow down. Flip on the switch in my brain. Cut the crap back, don't the songs be the best, be the best in the room. Pick up the pieces and use the failure as you. This won't break my back, this is the start of the show. I can't take it back, but I can take it and go.
Well, we've known each other since high school. We were friends in high school. Deepak loves to say that he was my friend before I was his friend, or am I getting that backwards?
That's correct.
Deepak has a story that I ignored him all the way through our freshman year math class up until junior year. I think we were best friends for all of high school.
This is our final chance. This will be our last hurrah. We'll go our separate ways and we'll begin our dying days as closer. This will be our last hurrah. Maybe we can stay friends, but don't attempt to make it fall apart. Fall apart. Fall apart. We won't ever fall apart.
You know, I feel like there are high school shows where the kids are like kind of oblivious about what's happening with the parents and stuff like that, and that's not really the world that we lived in. I feel like there are high school shows that tell a very different high school culture than our culture. We were really lucky to go to a school where the cool kids were also kind of nice people, and also they were the smart kids. It wasn't this like jocks bullying the nerds thing. And I think part of that was just we wanted to have that be the world of the show. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I think that it was also really important to us to try and represent a growth in a high school story, which is so popular in the musical theater canon, that centered people that like looked like us and like felt a little bit like a little slice of what we experienced versus, you know, the John Hughes Breakfast Clubby kind of version of the world.
And how did you transition? Because I know that you still both have very interesting, I don't know when we want to call this the day job, the night job.
We don't know either.
Others,
They're both day
they're
jobs.
multi-hyphenates, right? They're multi-hyphenates.
Sure.
But how did you make that transition or choose to feed which creative capacity?
I can only answer for myself, and Jord will have to answer for herself. But for me, I think I'm very lucky to be in a day job situation where I feel like I have a lot of agency over my time. And so sometimes I'm just leaning a little bit more towards the theatrical world than I'm leaning towards the computer science world, which is the other sort of half of my day job life and day job existence. What do you think?
Yeah, well, Deepak is going to be a professor, which he forgot to say. I used to be a software engineer. When I was a software engineer, I felt like that was a great time to write, honestly, because I got to just leave work. And honestly, it filled me with energy because I was kind of bored at work. And so I had like all of this creative energy bubbling up. When we first started writing, I think we have looked at the message on Facebook Messenger where Deepak literally just said to me, "Hi, should we write a musical?" or something like that. And I think I said something like, "Yeah, I'd love to. I think this could take a really long time."
6 years later.
6 years later, we're still writing it. Yeah, I think that when I first started, it was a great creative thing to do. And then I've since transitioned into a job that I also really love and care about now. So honestly, I have less time and less energy to do writing, and I'm still a little bit figuring it out. But I don't think this is a like, I would like to quit my day job situation. I think I really like it, and I would like to keep doing both.
And how did you find yourself to be in New York, aligned with Prospect Theater Company and NAAP?
Oh, we met Prospect Theater Company and Kara at the National Alliance for Musical Theaters Festival of New Musicals last year, I think. Do you want to talk about that?
Oh, sure. So last year, the show was featured as part of NAAP's Festival of New Musicals, where it was selected as one of 8 shows out of, I think, 500 submissions or something like this. So that was our first foray into doing anything in New York City. And so we got to put up a 45-minute presentation of the show in front of tons of industry people, and like 600 people came or something like this. And it was there that we met Kara, we met Jason Ma, actually for the first time there as well, and a bunch of other folks. And, you know, we kept talking over the year, and, you know, Kara and NAAP came together and they were saying, hey, we want to do a concert, we want to do a show, and that's kind of how we're here.
So we're only on day 2 of rehearsal, and the performance is on October 2nd. But what did it feel like to have it? You had the full cast today in this room here at Ripley Greer, and you also were singing. You were singing the parts too. What did it feel like to experience that?
So many things. I think the first is that we're very lucky to have written a show about Chinese bakery pastries because that means that first day snacks are always like totally taken care of. Like,
Well, any room that you're with Asian Americans, it's going to be a good snack table.
that's right. So number one, snack table was on fire. I think two, for me personally, it was, I was like super moved by all of the actors that were not just here and reading the parts and singing the songs, but the little moments that we'd had in breaks where Hazel, who's playing Yunjo, who's the mom, came up to us and was like, my kid just went to college, and my husband is very much like the dad in this show, and she was getting very emotional about that.
Right.
And I think that kind of connection is so much why we wrote this, and that's so important to me, and so that felt very touching in the room.
Yeah, I think yesterday and today, I think the vibes have been immaculate. I feel blessed that every time we do this show, I feel like it's always really good vibes. Our music director in Chicago had said that something about the show like brings great people to work on that. I would like to hope that that's true, but I think either way, it's just always super meaningful for me, and I think also for you that like I never thought I would have any work that would go out into the world. So it's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, I want to emphasize that we truly started writing like on a lark. Like we were just like we had no knowledge of anything, and we just said, hey, we should do it. And we say this a lot, and I think it's true. Like, had we known how hard it was going to be, we would not have started. But we didn't, and we had this like blessed naivete about the whole thing, and we're just super grateful to continue to have opportunities
Well,
to put
I
it together.
do want to say that I got teary-eyed myself because this is actually coming up on actually the day of yours, the anniversary of my mother's death. So that section, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
and I was like, keep it together. You don't need to have a shaky hand. But I encourage you all to come see this beautiful musical, Baked, a new musical at the Sheen Center on October 2nd. Thank you so much for joining me, and
Thank you
good
so
luck.
much.
Have an amazing time.
Looking forward to seeing. Come on down and think you got what it takes. Come on down and
Thank you for joining me for this edition of Backstage Pass with Lia Chang. Until next time.